I'm going to show you in this video the Insight Reporter module for Resolve Check and show you how it can let you see and access the information at any level to help you manage your cases and your current risk position. One thing that's slightly unusual is that Insight not only lets you look at your current position within RNA, but it also lets you track and monitor any shifts and trends in the level or value of cases over time as well. And that also works in terms of looking at operator performance over time, looking at the performance of your different cases, your caseload, and your current risk position over time. This view here is just a sample view showing the different aging of cases that we have open. We can see the number of cases, the current risk position for both our debit and credits. We can see how long those cases have been open for and the different value bands. What's different about a normal standard report is the way that Insight allows you to interact and to work with that information to give you exactly what you need. If I'm looking to manage these cases, what I can do is say, well, I want to treat these adjustment cases that we have over 50,000 as a priority. I can just click on that figure, get a breakdown of exactly where they lie. So I can see there are 2 cases in total. If I want to see what this first one is, I can just right click, drill to detail, and that'll show me the information from Resolve Check about that case so that I can go get someone to work on that right away. Again, to go back, we've kept it a bit like Internet Explorer to keep it familiar to people. To go back to where I was before I drilled down, I can just click the back button. What I can also do is we just go into one of the other views, and I'll show you how you can create some of your own views and how you work with this to get the information or the view that you want to see. This one here shows the adjustment types, and it is an example of a slightly different, a sort of top 10 report to get people focused on the right cases or the key information for a particular department or for prioritization. What I'm doing here is I can show the different adjustment types that we have currently. I've sorted these in terms of the balance amount so that those with the highest value are at the top. Now you'll also see as I move over the graph, it'll give me breakdowns to let me get an understanding of, for example, on the disputed item credit, I can see although that's only accounting for 3% of our open cases, it's actually accounting for 15% of our current risk position in that area. I can also change that to look at my credits, my debit adjustments, or if I want to, I can get it to show me it for all adjustments, both debit and credit. Now what I'm going to do is just show you how you can work with Insight to get this kind of information. Here, if we look at number of cases and balance amount, what I can do is I can just go in and say at the moment we're just looking at very high level. It could even be that all we have is the number of cases. So we've got the number of cases that are currently open. Now what I'm wanting to do is create a view that lets me know how to prioritize those cases or how to see what adjustment types are causing those cases. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in the balance amount to that view. And you'll see as I just move my mouse over, it just refreshes that. Now I want to see detail about the error types, so as we did before, I'm just going to click on the error types and that'll break that down for me. What you'll see is that on this particular day, there are some types of error that we don't currently have any open cases for, and that's quite normal. What I can do though, if I don't want to see the rows where I have no values or no open cases, I can just click that little filter button and you'll see that's now taking them out of our view. What I also want to do is I just want to look at this as a pie chart so that I can see how the number of cases relates to the balance amount. So that, for example, there are some areas here where I can look at the expedited credit. I can see that that's accounting for almost 60% of my current risk position. I want to use this for prioritization, so what I'm going to do again is sort on the balance amount so that those cases with the highest value are coming to the top. What I'm also going to do is just change this slightly, and I'm not interested in seeing all of the adjustment types. What I really want to do is just focus attention so that I can give this to someone so that they can resolve or treat these cases as priority. So I'm just going to ask it to show me the top 10 based on the number of cases. Well, in fact, I'm going to change that and say, can you show me that, the top 10 based on the balance amount? And you'll see that's filtered that for me now, to make it easier for me to focus in on exactly what it is I want the person looking at this to do. What we can also do is say, well, this is showing me all my items or my debits and credits, but I would really like to be able to have this so that the person using it can choose which department. So all I did here, if I go back there, you'll see there's various different fields and different properties of all my cases. What I'm going to do here is just say the departments, and I would like to be able to either look at this for all departments or look at it for any of my individual departments. And you'll see what that's done is that's put a little parameter box at the top there for me. I'm just going to save that because I don't want to be doing this every time. What I can do is I can just add this to my view, and I'll just call this priority error types, for example. You can call that if you want, and I can create that. Now if I just go back to a completely different view, this was this view we were looking at earlier, just close this panel, you'll see it. And now when I come in the next day, all I have to do is click on that and I can see this information. And again, this is still active. I can drill down on this in any way that I want. I can still cut and slice this any way I want. If I want to look at it for a particular department, I can just select that department and look at what are the error types for that department, the number of cases, our current balance amount. And each day that will also refresh, so it's always current. Finally then, I'm going to show you another view. In this case, we're just going to look at our current risk position. Again, I could add department and I could have this for each department if I wanted to. Here, I've got it also showing me the different banks so that I could look at the level of cases that we're getting in from different banks. This is showing us what our current debit risk position is on our cases, our credit risk position is, and what the net risk position is. Now what I want to do is just change the series on that, so I'm going to come in, change that slightly and say for the net position, I just want to change that so that it's showing me a bar chart, just to differentiate it really. So here, now what I'm looking at is my debit risk, my credit risk, and my net risk position. Now, what I can do now is, if I want to, I can just change that from showing me my risk position, for example, to showing me number of cases, so that I can see how many cases we currently have open, what the debit balance amount and the credit balance amount is for those cases, and what the total is in terms of the number of cases. But at any time I can change that back to show me my risk position. If I want to see the actual numbers, I can also just put the grid on the bottom so that I'm seeing both the grid and the graph. I'll just pull that down slightly. And this is showing me all of this information for August. Now it might be that I'm wanting to look at this at a higher level, and as I mentioned, you can look at this on any time period. It's constantly recording the current position of your department and all of the cases over time. So if I want to, I can look at this for the different months. At the moment, August selected, but it's as simple as just selecting these months. And if I do that, you'll now see what it's showing me is what the total number of cases we had open for each of the months in 2008, 2009. Now you can see we've got a sudden drop now. We've either made significant change, perhaps in the way that we're managing our cases in terms of January 2009. I can also look at that for one particular bank. If I'm processing work for different banks, then I can look at that and see the information for one particular bank or the number of cases. Again, if I wanted to, I could go back and look at the risk position for that bank to see exactly how that pans out. Change that to another bank. The point is, anytime you're looking at information, you can change it, you can drill into it, you can break it down, you can format it exactly how you want. And if I needed to go into one particular month again, for example, we were looking at December, but I can just click on September and get a breakdown for September. And that really is a quick overview of Insight Reporter for Resolve Check. And exactly as we did before, if I wanted to keep that view, just save it, and that's available anytime I want. So here's the view we created earlier on our error types, and there's my current risk position, trended for the month of September. Hopefully you can see some of the power that this will give you. It means that you never again have to get someone to write a report for you. If you need to look at or investigate something, your operational staff can do it. The people who are working in the department, the people who understand exactly what it is that they need to see, are able to do this and access this information themselves.